As some of y'all might know, I do like video games, and if I like video games, I sometimes like the movies that, well, they're based off of. I've liked a lot of them, and I've reviewed some of them, but there's this one film I saw which is celebrating its 15th anniversary today, and I really wish it could have started a big franchise, but it just didn't. But prepare yourselves, I'm going to review this film anyway for its 15th anniversary. Here's my review of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2010 action fantasy flick Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, released by Disney along with Jerry Bruckheimer Productions, based on the video game series of the same name created by Jordan Mechner. Directed by Mike Newell and written by Boaz Yakin, and the writing team of Doug Muro and Carla Bernard. Carlo, excuse me. The film stars Jake Gyllenhaal along with Ben Kingsley, Gemma Arterton, and Alfred Molina. It's an adaptation of the 2003 game of the same name published by Ubisoft. Elements from its follow ups, Warrior Within and The Two Thrones, are also incorporated in this film. The film was released on this day, May 28th, 2010. Henceforth, today's the film's 15th anniversary of its release in the US, after it had premiered in London earlier that same month, and then a week it came out in the US a week after it premiered after it was released in the UK. While it got mixed reviews, it did okay and what have you, and became the highest grossing video game adaptation until Warcraft surpassed it 6 years later. Let's get into the story. Dastan, a street urchin in Persia, is adopted by King Shahraman after showing courage. 15 years later, the king's brother, Nizam, relays evidence to the princes Dastan, along with the king's biological sons Tus and Garsiv, that the holy see of Alamut is forging weapons for Persia's enemies. Tus directs the Persian army to capture Alamut. During the attack, Dastan defeats a royal guard and obtains a sacred dagger from him. Alamut falls to the Persians, but Tamina, the princess of Alamut, denies that the sea has any weapon forges. Tus asks her to marry him to unite the two nations, and she only accepts after seeing the dagger in Dastan's possession. At their celebratory, excuse me, I'm getting tongue tied. Celebratory banquet, Tus has Dastan give their father an embroidered robe. However, the robe is poisoned, fatally burning Shahraman. Garsiv accuses Dastan of the king's murder. Dastan escapes with Tamina, and Tus is appointed king, and a bounty on Dastan's head is set. While in hiding, Tamina attempts to kill Dastan and steal the dagger. And in the struggle, Dastan discovers the dagger enables the wielder to travel back in time, believing Tus invaded Alamut for the dagger. Dastan decides to confront his brother. On the way, the two are captured by merchant bandits led by Sheikh Amar, who seeks the reward money, but they manage to escape. After arriving in Avrat, Dastan tries to convince Nizam of his innocence. Seeing burns on Nizam's hands, Dastan realizes that Nizam orchestrated the king's murder. Dastan is forced to escape once again. Nizam sends a group of covert warriors, the Hassasins, to kill Dastan and find the dagger. Tamina later tells Dastan that long ago the gods unleashed a great sandstorm to destroy humanity, but were moved by a young girl's offer to sacrifice herself in humanity's place and trapped the sands of time in a large sand glass. Tamina is the latest guardian of the dagger, given to the young girl by the gods. which can pierce the sand glass and potentially destroy the world. Nizam intends to travel back to his childhood, prevent himself from saving Shahraman from a lion attack, and become king of Persia in his place. Amar captures the two again, but Dastan saves Amar's men from a Hassansin attack using the dagger. This convinces Amar to escort them to a sanctuary near the Hindu Kush, where Tamia will seal the dagger within the stone it first came from. At the sanctuary, Garsiv appears, whom Dastan convinces of his innocence. However, the Hassansins ambush them, killing Garciv and stealing the dagger. Now for the final act and the ending. As always, you know the procedure. You'll have 5 seconds to stop this video at once. Go to the description box below. Fast forward to the time below as I count down now. If you've seen this already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Dastan's group travels back to Alamut to steal back the dagger and warn Tuss of Nizam. Amar's right-hand man, Sesso, dies, retrieving the dagger for Dastan, who demonstrates its powers to Tuss and convinces him of the truth. Nizam interrupts them, kills Tuss, and takes back the dagger. Tamia saves Dastan from being killed, and the two head for the secret tunnels beneath the sea that lead to the sand glass. They reach Nizam, who saves Dastan and throws them off a cliff. Tamia sacrifices herself, releasing Dastan's hand and falling to her death. This allows him to find Nizam. Nizam thrusts the dagger into the column of sandglass under the temple, and Dastan grabs hold of the hilt of the dagger together with Nizam as sand is released from the sandglass. Time rewinds to the moment Dastan finds the dagger. He finds Tuss and Garciv and exposes Nizam's treachery. Nizam tries to kill Dastan, who easily defeats him. Nizam gets up and attempts to attack again, but is subdued and killed by Tuss. Tuss apologizes to Tamia for the siege and proposes to strengthen the two nations' bond by marital alliance of the princess to Dastan. Dastan returns the dagger to Tamina as an engagement gift and tells her he looks forward to their future together. End of story. So what did I think of Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time? You know, I've only seen this a few times. I do remember going to the theater to see this. It's a pretty good film, a bit underrated though, but good in some ways. Upon its release, it got mixed reviews. And according to Disney and Bruckheimer, this was supposed to be the new Pirates of the Caribbean. Though it was released during Memorial Day weekend, it kind of got lost to new releases like Shrek Forever After and Sex and the City 2 during the 3-day weekend of its release. But however, it got wedged in between the two for the 4-day weekend and finished in second place, only losing to Shrek Forever After. And it became the third highest opening for a video game adaptation, behind Lara Croft Tomb Raider and Pokemon the first movie. The film did pretty decent enough, going on to make $336 million worldwide on its $150 to $200 million budget. The reviews were mixed. Rotten Tomatoes has a score of 36%, saying it doesn't offer much in the way of substance, but Prince of Persia is a suitably entertaining swashbuckler and a substantial improvement over most video game adaptations. Metacritic has a score of 50, and audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the average grade of a B to the film. Roger Ebert gave this 2 out of 4 stars, and was critical of the performances by Gyllenhaal and Arterton. David Rourke of Relevant gave it a good review, saying that Newell has unquestionably accomplished what he set out to do, which is ridiculous, silly, and forgettable, but amusing nonetheless. About 9 years later, in an interview with Yahoo Entertainment, Gyllenhaal expressed regret about the film, saying, "I think I learned a lot from that movie in that I spend a lot of time trying to be very thoughtful about the roles that I pick and why I'm picking them. And you're bound to slip up and be like, that wasn't right for me, or that didn't fit perfectly. There have been a number of roles like that, and then a number of roles that do. Well, that's understandable. I still thought Jake Gyllenhaal was fine, what have you, as Prince Destin. He wasn't too bad. Now, I did like Gemma Arterton as Princess Tamina. This was the film that kind of got me introduced to her. Of course, after this, she would later go on to be in some other films. Well, actually, take that back. This was actually the second film because I completely forgot she was in Daniel Craig's second outing as James Bond in Quantum of Solace. And of course, after this, she was in Clash of the Titans, which was released the same year, and then later on Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters, and The Kingsman. So anyway, I thought she was a pretty good performer. Ben Kingsley played Prince Nizam. I'm going to say good performance. Playing Prince Garcia is Toby Kebbell, who I've known that name from somewhere. Yes, he's been in lots of films. Of course, he would appear in well in some films, and after this, he did War Horse, Wrath of the Titans, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Warcraft, Ben Hur, and even the Fantastic Four 2015 film. He also appeared in Kong Skull Island as well. Not too bad. Playing Sheik Amar is Alfred Molina, who, of course, most people know who that is. Most people would remember him best as Doc Ock from Spider Man 2. Now, Richard Coyle played Prince Tuss. He recently appeared in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix. Now, he has been in several other films, but most of them I'm afraid I'm not too familiar with, unfortunately. Well, now he did appear in Secrets of Dumbledore, however. Yes, the the third Fantastic Beast film. And playing King Charmin is Ronald Pickup. Yes, now I to figure this one out. Yeah, he's been in several films and stuff like that, so I don't know too much about what he's done though. But he still did fine, what have you. The rest of the cast isn't too bad either, so gotta give him credit for that. The score was composed by Harry Gregson Williams, and it wasn't too bad. But anyway, from my point of view, I feel like Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, while it may not have been one of the best movies of a video game adaptation, but despite it has its issues and flaws, I will say it's pretty much an underrated film. Unfortunately, while this was intended to be the start of a new franchise similar to the Pirates of the Caribbean films, as a swashbuckler adventure series, though the box office returns were decent enough, but the mediocre reviews and dissipating interest in the games led to any sequel plans being abandoned. And it's a shame in my view. It would have been fun if they had continued this. But anyway, with everything said, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, pretty decent enough. Maybe not one of the best video game adaptations, but an underrated film though. I mean, I really liked some of the cast and the story and the score and what have you. And also, yeah, another thing. The film was directed by Mike Newell, who had recently done Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire before this. Now, of course, Newell also had done films like Donnie Brasco, Pushing 10, Four Wings in a Funeral, and Mona Lisa Smile. So, yeah, I give him credit for that. So, with everything said, would I recommend Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time? I would say give it a one-time watch. You can find it on physical media, or it's also on Disney Plus. But anyway, that's my recommendation. I'd say give it a one-time watch. if you are interested. So, what did you think of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, make it grow, and make the views grow. Tell all your friends about my channel, get them to know me. Maybe they'd like to be a part of my Big D Nation. Share my vids with your friends if you like as well. Join me next time when I bring to you my complete TV cartoons collection, which this one's going to be a whopper. Anyway, yes, as I recently filmed the video, so that way I'll have it premiere exclusively, okay? So if you like this, consider checking out my reviews for these other films that have a little bit of action, fantasy, and adventure. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of the film that started all for Pirates of the Caribbean in The Curse of the Black Pearl from 2003. The upper right-hand corner is my review of its follow-up, Dead Man's Chest. Or if you would like maybe something else with a little bit of adventure in it, check out my review of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom from 1984. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.